forget it.
Oh, wow. Well, there's probably a lot more sheep there for the wool than there are cotton fields.
Yeah, yes, I would say so. I would
But
say, and it's a shame because I've got really nice legs. So,
you do have
uh,
nice legs.
except for all the scars in it, I look like I've been in a chainsaw fight and lost.
Well, look who you run with, dude. So,
Well, that's true.
but
I mean, RA it was Leatherface. So, I mean, that's a lot of people don't know that. One of our members, R.A. Mihailoff, was Leatherface in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3.
and he is so not a monster. He is one of the nicest people. Well, all of y'all
You
are,
know
but he really is. And people were kind of afraid of him. Oh, dear.
what?
Well, in our chat, and I can't really read that to you on the air, but I will tell
Is
you
it
at break.
is it a bad thing?
No, she just, well, I guess it won't matter. She just says that she'll take one without the kilt.
Oh,
So we just
well,
went from PG to
shoot.
PG-13.
I've
So
got lots of those.
I've seen you in Black Hollywood Ghost Hunter wear a lot, so maybe that's what she means.
That's pretty much all I wear. I mean, all my clothing is black. That way I don't have to really ponder over my choices. Just
That's convenient,
grab
isn't
it.
it?
Yeah.
I was told at Mid-South that I'm the only ghost hunter that they know that shows up wearing, bright corals and stuff. And I was like, well, I am who I am. I go dark when I'm investigating, so I don't distract from what's going on around me. So there you go. But it was funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I get some interesting things on Facebook sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's about pretty much all I can tell you about that.
Right. It's like, oh, please don't expound.
Yeah.
But,
No, that's pretty much as far as I can go with that, but anybody with imagination can probably figure it out.
yes, well, kind of like my chat. But
You know.
in all fairness, Brenda truly is a fan. She was very concerned that I say that she's not a stalker. But she is an
No.
admirer and a fan, so she's pretty awesome. I've known her for years, so you're pretty safe.
I've never had, well, actually, I did have one stalker, but it had nothing to do with the paranormal. And I feel so bad for women that have stalkers because, I'm a big, nasty guy, and if, it actually got down to it, I can defend myself.
Right.
But I can't imagine when you're, a smaller girl and the big, nasty guy is coming after you. It's got to be scarier than hell. And it was scary enough having a stalker to begin with, so, my heart goes out to him.
I had one for 3 years, and I actually had to move to get away. So it was just interesting. So I'm glad that's not part of my life anymore. It is scary, and I can't imagine if you were, someone tiny and petite. I'm not, and I am able to care for myself, but, you come down to the strength factor.
Yeah.
I'm not as strong
Well,
as a man, and I'm in pretty good shape. So, interesting.
Yeah, it's really strange when people keep showing up and they don't take no for an answer, and it's they keep calling you when you didn't give them your number.
Yeah.
You
Or
know,
when you
that's,
changed it.
So that's interesting, terrifying, but interesting.
So, well, I'm glad that you got past that. Was it a fixation from your films?
No. It
Oh,
was
okay.
somebody that I had met back in Chicago,
Ah.
and I was back there because my mother was passing away, and I was taking care of her.
Oh,
And this
gosh.
girl would call, and I'd say, "Look, please don't call. When you call, you wake my mother up. Please, just, go away." I
Right.
said it as nicely as I could. Please, just, I'm watching my mom. I don't have time to do anything. Please, just, don't call here again. And she would call repeatedly and repeatedly. So finally, one day when my mother had hospice over one day, her place of work was only 2 blocks away. I walked up to her thing and walked into her office and walked up and said, "All right, this ends right now." So that finished it right there.
Well, good. Well, I'm glad that did, because there's nothing worse. Unless it's somebody who actually harms you, but there really isn't. It's so psychological, and people are crazy. But let's move.
And I know most of them.
I am most of them. What are you talking about? I'm teasing.
Most of them are friends of mine.
Yeah. Well, again, your job. I kid. I actually think that what you do is pretty cool, and what you and your friends do together as a team is pretty amazing. Not everybody knows how much you contribute to St. Jude's, and I think that's one of my very favorite things.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that any of the stuff that I sell at Scarefest, any of the hats or T-shirts or anything like that, 100% of the profits goes to St. Jude's Hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
I figure I can try and help out somehow.
Well,
so all you people that come Scarefest, come buy a T-shirt from me so we can give the little fellows some money.
Absolutely. And the hats. The hats are amazing. Everything is.
Well, I actually only gave out 2 at the show, and I believe the first one I gave out went to Cat Hobson.
He sports it all the time. So.
You know where they got the other one? Buck from Mountain Men or Mountain Monsters.
Oh, I just saw them this weekend. They're such nice people. And I was glad he was there, because I had heard he wasn't going to make it, and I was disappointed. And then I walked around the corner, and there they all were. It was good.
Yeah, they were nice guys, because they were sitting next to me. Me and Buck were sitting next to each other last year at Scarefest, so we got to be pals. He's a pretty cool dude. And actually the other guys are, too. I didn't really get to talk to them so much because they're farther down, but I did get to talk to them a little bit.
Yeah, I like him, too.
So.
Well, we've got someone wanting to know. So let's talk haggis. Is that how you say that? Haggis? Haggis?
Haggis.
Haggis? They want to know,
yes.
Did you eat it?
Could it be J. Craig Miller?
No. It is not J. Craig Miller.
Okay. J. Craig Miller is my friend, and he's actually the general manager of the Real Mary King's Close in Edinburgh, Scotland, which is one of the best attractions in there. It's part of an underground. They've got like all these houses and things that were underground, and they're still the same as they were back then. I mean, great attraction and haunted. That was one of the places that I ghost hunted last time. But the thing about haggis is the last day they have a restaurant at the Real Mary King's Close, and I would always stop in there to get lunch because they had great soups. And the last day I'm there, Craig comes up and he goes, "Hey, I'm buying you haggis and black pudding for your last day here." So I ate it, and I got to tell you, I don't know how, I don't know when, but I'm going to get him back for that because that stuff sucks.
Turnabout's fair play. Get him over here and give him beef liver.
Somebody asked me what haggis tastes like. I said it tastes like dirt with extra dirt on it. It was like,
yuck.
It was awful.
Well, what about the blood pudding? Did you say blood pudding?
Black pudding.
Black pudding.
And that one, I'm so used to, regular pudding that my grandma used to make, the Jell-O pudding.
Right.
This was not that.
Okay.
Yeah, I was not pleased with either one of them.
Well, there are regional things here that you can share with him if you can get him here.
Yeah, I'll dig something up.
Yeah, you will. I have no doubt of that. Well, I am brave and fierce when it comes to foods. I'll try just about anything, but I would never ever try that. I don't think. I've never heard anyone have a positive experience with it.
Yeah, it was not good. But I will say, though, a really good experience I had this last time. I've been guests of several groups over there. Premier Paranormal, that's Brian Harley and Anne-Marie McManus, and then Anubis Paranormal from England, and that's Mandy Fellows, Ed Fellows, and Gary Fields, and a bunch of other people, Gary Hughill, a whole bunch of people. I've been guests with them before, and then I was lucky enough to meet the guys from Scottish Paranormal. And that's Greg Stewart and Kyle Stewart and Allie Reed and Ryan O'Neill. Not that Ryan O'Neill, but Ryan O'Neill.
Right.
And they took me all around St. Andrews. I mean, we walked all around the whole city. We spent the entire day and night ghost hunting. They took me all over the place. And that wasn't easy because I'd hurt my leg in a forest earlier and was actually limping everywhere we went. But we still made it miles and miles, and it was a heck of a lot of fun. So fortunately, J. Craig Miller had told me that if I wanted to have a ghost hunt at his place, that I could invite some people. So I thought it'd be real cool to get all the groups together. So there was Premier Paranormal, myself, Scottish Paranormal, and Anubis of England, and we all ghost hunted the Real Mary King's Close together, which was really good because a lot of groups have been fighting, each other.
Right.
And it was kind of nice to have all the groups together and get along. And not any of these groups weren't fighting with each other. That's not what I'm getting at. I'm just talking about it seems like groups are always bickering back and forth, So it was real nice to have a good hunt with a whole bunch of nice people and actually a ton of activity in that place.
Well, it's supposed to be. When I was researching for this show, I was really surprised. I mean, it's like they just kept building on top of this place, and more places wound up underground, and the hauntings appeared to be getting more frequent. Did you find that to be the case there?
Yeah. The case, the interesting thing there is I had been down there before where just Craig and I had gone down for about, 45 minutes one night. And we were standing in one room, and I could hear, not footsteps, but shuffling footsteps, on the wood. Mm-hmm. But that was pretty much all that happened. But when we were down there with these other people, I mean, this place just blew up. I mean, it was unbelievable how much stuff was happening. The K2 meters were going off like crazy. We were standing in one room, and the four of us are standing there, and I start hearing something, and I'm just looking at their faces to see if they're hearing it too. And then you kind of see them start to realize there's a noise, and you can see them looking around and stuff. I said, "You guys hear something?" And they said, "Yeah." I said, "What's it sound like to you?" And everybody said the same thing. Goes, "It sounds like a heartbeat." And it was like, boom, 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 boom. Wow. Just like a heartbeat. And later on, the other people said, "Yeah, well, we were down there. We thought we heard a heartbeat." We hadn't told them because we split up into the different spots inside the close. So while we were down there, also we heard, real heavy footsteps above us, and there's nobody else in the building. It's completely locked off, and we know where everybody is.
Right.
So I looked outside to see if there was any way, not outside, but down the hallway and stuff, to see if there's any way there could be something walking that could be transferring the sound. You know how that happens in some places. But, I mean, this is all hard brick and rock and everything else, so it's not transferring anything. And then later on, a whole bunch of us were down there, and we heard very heavy running above us. I mean, it sounded like, the Olympics, like, the 100-yard dash. I mean, and more than one person running, like boom, 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 boom above us. So it was
odd.
It was really active.
That's really something else. And
yeah, there was so much that happened there. It was one of the things. Now Craig Miller's been down there so many times because he has to go down there at night to close up, or one of the other people does. And there was a girl named Kat Mowat, who was with us. She's also one of the people from Real Mary King's Close, and she was with us. And I would ask her, I said, "Have you ever heard that down here before?" She'd go, "No." So that was really cool. But there's a long tunnel that's on an angle. I don't know if you've ever seen it, like a long hallway, and it's real steep. And we're standing out there towards the end of the night, and we look, and we see this one door up ahead of us on the side start moving, like jiggling, like someone's trying to open it, and it's locked. And we all look over, and Craig goes, "That can't happen. It's locked. There's nobody else here in the building." So, I mean, it was a very interesting night. All kinds of things happened there.
Well, It certainly doesn't sound like there was any risk of being bored or falling asleep in your investigation. That's wild. But
Yeah, no, it really blew up. I mean,